Well, good evening. It's Keep It 100 Podcast. We are celebrating our third anniversary. We've got a wonderful guest this evening coming back for part two. That's Elaine Elizabeth Presley. She should be joining us any moment here. So give me a couple minutes and we'll invite her in. And we'll check out and see what's been going on in her life. Okay, got some new things. I know that she's written a book. She's actually put together... She's done some movies and things of that nature. And she's also got some music coming back. But from our first interview, we'll see what's happening. All right. And it's another beautiful Thursday. Okay. I got hey, DJ. I see one of the DJs just joined us. We're just waiting for Elizabeth to join us right now. And we're there. Let me wave at one of our DJs that just joined. Okay. I'm sure there's a few people waiting for us. Okay. So thank you for joining. We're just waiting for Elizabeth Presley. I was running a few minutes because I was actually putting together, I like to celebrate at a lot of events and things of that nature. So I had to run and I grabbed the cake and all that good stuff. There she is. Elizabeth is there. So let me invite her in. Give me 1 second. Okay. We're adding her to the program right now. Give me. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Elizabeth should be joining us. Okay. Give us 1 second. And we got a few other people joining right now. Hey, thank you for joining. This is going to be a great show. Well, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Jay. I'm doing fine. Thank you. How are you doing?
I am doing amazing. This is a little different for me because I'm in the studio now that we've created. And I want to wish you a happy second interview with us, Elaine Elizabeth Presley.
Thank you for having me back, JR.
Oh God, yes. And I did run a few of the videos from our first interview, so people could get caught up. We are lighting up with people following us right now. Let's just start right out, Elaine. What's new in your career since the last time that we talked back in, I think it was like May 19th or something like that?
Yes, in my career, we finished the book yesterday completely. Of course, it had been finished a long time ago, but things has to be kind of made even cleaned up and made even better, made even more professional.
Right.
So we had to go and do that. But everything is exactly the same as I pretty much wrote in the manuscript, but things were taken from the manuscript and turned into this beautiful, wonderful book so fans could understand it.
Oh, wow. Okay,
so we're going to be going for a publisher now, and then once we have the publisher, we'll be releasing it worldwide.
So, wow, this is all happened since we've been talking. You were working on this book, right?
Yeah, actually, in fact, the manuscript was finished quite some time ago, and then the manuscript went to my editors and things like that, and my confidants. And they said, no, this is not, this is just a manuscript, tell them what happened. So they had to turn it into a professional book, Kid of the King. So they took all the information that I wrote and turned that into a professional book so people could understand it really well. So now it's really fantastic. I read it and I love it. And of course, there's some additional DNA things in there that I never knew about that's been added as well. So things like that, and about history and things like that. So the fans are going to really enjoy that.
So I know you can't give that much away because I was helping a friend do a book last year.
Yes.
This time that got taken care of, got published and all that, and thank God that one's doing well. But kind of what is the book about, so that the people that are watching right now will get kind of an idea that this book is coming out and what to look for?
It's an autobiography of my life. It's called Kid of the King. And it's an autobiography of everything about my life, from being a child, being a baby, all the way up until the current time, from me moving to Tennessee. So basically it's everything that happened in my life from there to that point to now. And then so people can learn about me, they can see what I've been up to, what I've been doing all my life, and see how I came home, and what I went through and that sort of thing.
Wow. Okay.
To get the story of me, my sister's sister, obviously, and the other child of Elvis Presley, to get the real true facts of Kid of the King, in that book for them to read up until now. Then, of course, things I do in the future, like things at Graceland and stuff like that, will be added in the next book that I write. But the next book will be easy for me to write because it's about me being home, about all the wonderful things I'm doing for Graceland, for fans and people, and our charity, the Presley Foundation. But this first book was extremely difficult and emotional. But it was also a therapy too, because I had to read it so many times to proofread it. It was actually a therapy, and a therapy for me to help me through those things I went through when I was younger and growing up and stuff like that. And finding my way home. So it kind of served two purposes. It showed the world who I am, and was therapy for me to, to relearn about my own self and stuff, like things I've forgotten about and stuff like that.
Okay. You are getting a lot of love. A lot of hearts are going up right now.
What
Uh, it's interesting right now because
family?
you know your life. Some people knew about you, some people didn't. And then when I ran that interview, I had so many people are like, "Well, Elvis has another daughter." Okay, and I was like, "Yes." I was like, "Watch the interview. Watch the interview. You'll find out about it." Okay.
Yeah, I'm still
Yeah.
I'm still really behind the scenes. A lot of people in the world do know who I am, but because I haven't really been out there too much, I'm still behind the scenes. It's all happening quite slowly for good reasons.
Okay. One of our friends just joined us. Also, another one of our friends, I should say, Billy, Dr. Billy, I should say. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Billy. Just want to say hi to her real quick also.
I
Who
said,
also runs a podcast show.
yeah.
Crystal's joined us also, who is a singer, songwriter. Speaking of that, since we just talked about Crystal, which is a good friend of yours,
Yeah.
let's turn this for just a moment because, last we talked also on our last interview, you had a music career that was either you were
Yeah.
working on it, okay, and you kind of downplayed it a little bit, but I
Yeah.
know that it's in your soul.
I'm on radio, on TV.
Okay.
I'm on TV.
Can you bring her upstairs?
Yes, I'm on TV. Okay. Sorry about that.
Hey, you know what? I got the same thing going on right now. I got
Yeah.
echoes. That's part of it, though.
We have different people here at the house, so
Oh, I know. Hey, I of all places to be, they're hanging out with you. Come on. I don't know how you get any alone time. But let me ask this question. Okay, so I know last we talked, you were working on some music. You're about to work on some music, and you're also we were talking about a movie career where you're working on. You're possibly. I know you can't mention certain things, so I understand how that works. But let's talk about music first of all, and then we'll go into music. Let's talk about music, and then we'll go into movies.
Yes, I am bringing some. I've written some new songs, and I'm really happy with them. I'm very proud of them. Two of those songs are actually for my sister, and so those are for my sister Lisa Marie. And then the other songs, of course, are for the fans. So those have been written, and they're going to be recorded in Memphis with Carl Blue Wise.
Okay.
Yes.
Carl, I know him very well.
Yeah.
That's Blue Boy Records.
Yeah, he's an awesome producer, and I'm proud to have him, produce my own music.
Awesome.
And I hope you like it.
You know what? I look forward to it because I'll tell you, Carl has such a great heart. I've known him Facebook through another friend of ours.
Yes.
And when I did the first interview opening up with him, it led to all of this. What was interesting is amazing how I met him. Then I met Christo, and I met Thor and Tanya, and then you came along, and then there was Billy. So it was all tied in. Meanwhile, my nephew and I were out, hitting hard, interviewing, getting people on the show. So it's amazing how all this has come together.
Yeah.
Let's talk about movies. What can we see you in? I know you can't say the name of, but what type of movies are we going to see you in?
Oh, I can say the name of the movie. Actually, I'm in a movie called Chore.
Great.
Yeah, and with top famous people and stuff like that. I'm just a non-famous person in the movie.
Hey, I would rather be the non-famous person with the money than the famous person with the money. Okay.
Yeah. So called Chore, and it's in post-production and it's in filming again now. I've already done my part. I went to Philadelphia for that, and so that will be out. We don't know because of the things that are going on. So we're working on movie release, and then of course I'm working on some other movies. I was invited to do another movie as well, but that would have required international travel, and so I decided that's time not to do that because of the coronavirus. And I think that's on hold now too. And of course our family movies and things like that from Graceland that my mother has actually been working on and things like that. I do believe they're on hold too, but they should still be coming out as well in the future. So I look forward to more coming out. I look forward to my family's movies coming out and new movies for me that be action in the future. You know.
Okay. I will ask this because I don't ask much of anything, but if you do have a screening in Hollywood, you know I'm not that far away.
Yes.
I just, you know, you have my number.
I'm actually working with somebody in Hollywood right now as well, which I've got some things going on with, which I'm getting calls on all the time. So, but unfortunately, there's not much we can do right now in this pandemic. We have to be safe. We have to keep fans safe. But I do plan on doing quite a few movies in the future, and of course releasing songs and singing as well. So all that's in the store when things are safe to do so. But we have to keep the fans safe, number one.
Yeah, true. I do agree with that. That's very important.
Yeah.
Let me ask this question. I need because I didn't know that you were an author. I'm sure you have more books because once you write one book, there's something else brewing. Because there's some books I want to write that I haven't even started yet, and I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to. But what other types of books would you like to write? From what genre?
Okay, well, of course we have Kid of the King, which is my autobiography, and then we have another book coming out, which is about me, you know, being home at Graceland, doing all the things I'm doing, like movies and stuff like that, and music, and supporting our foundation and building our memorial post in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm part of all that, but then I'm also writing a children's book about my mum.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not going to mention the name of it because obviously it's not out yet. But
right. Okay. Don't do that, please.
Yeah, it's a book, and it's going to be really lovely. The storyline is lovely, so I hope people enjoy that. You know.
Okay. I want to touch on something that's very important because a lot of people that watched the show, our first interview show, they didn't know where you're living, which they don't need to know, but they didn't know what you were doing. Can you elaborate a little bit about Graceland and what your duties are there, what you're responsible for, just to kind of fill people in? Because, again, they might want to come down there and check it out. So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, right now I'm not at Graceland, but I do go to Graceland quite a bit. I don't live at Graceland because it's a museum, but I do have my company, and of course we have a foundation there. And of course I do frequent Graceland when I can, when I'm not touring and traveling and things like that. I'm working on, I've also, when I first came home, I worked on lots of things for Graceland, like 300 Miles to Graceland, it was originally called. Now it's the Graceland Tours. I also was recommending that we have something in Graceland for the children so they can say they learned how to learned about their passions and things from Graceland when they become famous in the future. Now that's called the Kids Camp. And don't get me wrong, I didn't design all these things by myself, but I did come up with the ideas and send them over to Graceland when I first came home, along with quite a few other ideas too, and some of them I used. And in the future, I have some wonderful ideas for Graceland, but I can't mention those because but they are wonderful ideas. What it will do, the ideas for the future will give an even bigger experience for the fans, but also in an easier way. Okay. Right now, I have things which are nice and they're lovely and they're easy, but there is even an easier ways and more ways that they can be entertained from the very second, they don't have to wait for the entertainment sort of thing. So I've got all those ideas too, which some of those are in my book actually, And so then of course I'm working on the Elvis Presley VFW Memorial Post, which is just down the road from Graceland. We're working on that. And of course I entertain the fans as well. My job is to also bring home fans to Graceland and to represent my family in Graceland in a respectable manner for the future. And so really I'm here to do anything that is required of me at home at Graceland, that my mother wants me to do, or my sister, or the Elvis Presley Enterprises. But right now I'm also doing lots of things, on my own as well. But of course the post isn't, I have a whole team for the memorial post. And, just basically keeping the Graceland, my sister's father's legacy alive and continuing those things into the future. So there's a lot of exciting things in store. And of course, everything that I do too, like when I release my songs, when I sing, and do interviews and do movies, all that's for my family. And so fans visit Graceland. A lot of fans do visit Graceland from my fan base, and I'm very proud of that. And in the future, we hope to bring even more fans to Graceland as well. And with wonderful ideas for all our family are designing. My mother, my sister, me, and the Elvis Presley Enterprises together as a team, and my confidants as well, together as a team. You know, the future looks fantastic at Graceland, so I urge everybody to visit us, you know. And
Oh, wow.
and when I'm there, you can meet me. And if you want to know when I'm there, you can just go to my website. And I do announce when I'm going to be home at Graceland, and I do meet fans and talk to them and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, that was great. I have other questions for you, and I'm just gonna kind of throw a few things as far as travel and things of that nature. Are you looking at doing? When's the last time you've been on a vacation?
I'm on a permanent vacation.
We all should be so lucky.
You know, my family, and I love what I do. So it's a permanent vacation, you know.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm still trying to get you out to the Caribbean. I'm telling you about these cool places that you should go to, and the reason that I always try and tell my friends to go to these locations, because these are places that I lived before, and going back to, and I know how private and, you know, I think of it like this. There's like, until you've like really been on a real, and I don't think it has to be VIP, but I think it needs to be like private in the Caribbean and things of that nature. You know, it made me younger. And I always recommend this to all my friends, because for some reason I can't age, and I keep having these birthdays, and it's because I was in that Caribbean water, and there's something special about it. So still trying to get you into that, and one day maybe.
Well, you did ask me when I do go to California to see. I will be living in Tennessee for the rest of my life. Okay? That's where I'll be living, not too far really from Graceland. Okay. It's a little way from Graceland, but not too far to travel. I like driving, so I don't mind traveling. And so I will be living in Tennessee for the rest of my life, but I also visit Beverly Hills to see my daughter as well, my grandchildren, you know, and, you know, my family. And so I travel mainly from those places, and also Missouri as well right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's basically my situation for living, you know.
So
I'm home, and I do stay at Graceland, stay in the hotel while I'm there.
Oh, okay. Well, let me ask this question, because again, talent runs in the family. Are there any other family members that might be coming up that we should keep our eye out for?
Yes, actual fact, my daughter works closely with my mother's producer, and she actually is in the she's a founding member of the film museum in Beverly Hills, and she's also has a degree, and she also has a film company, and has done many projects already in Beverly Hills in California. Okay. She has a thing called Beverly Hills Social, and she's also done, you know, been part of many projects. My mother works with us. My mother also, with our movies we're in now, works with the same directors that my daughter works in for other things as well.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so my daughter definitely, and my grandchildren, I'm sure, because they love to sing and do things like that, and they're learning to play the piano and things like that now. Okay. So they are, you know, going to be doing things in the future as well. And I can't wait to have my grandchildren on stage with me when I sing.
That's going to be awesome.
And I can't wait to be singing with my sister on stage one day too, or be on the stage.
Wow, I won't miss that.
Yeah, I've had a vision to hold my sister's hand and walk on stage together. I think that would be lovely for the fans, don't you think?
I think that would be amazing. That would actually be. You're going to make me get a tear in my eye in just a moment. Don't do that. Okay. Yeah. Let me go to another question for you also. What would you, because we're in really this is a really amazing time that we're dealing with right now. And,
yes.
And everyone's talking about in times like this, and what you have been doing, which has been very positive thing, and which I believe in also, is that we've been creating, and to the fans, to the guests that we have on watching right now. What would you recommend to do during times like this? If you've got, you know, you're kind of nagged out, you don't know which way to go. Companies are opening and closing. There are people getting sick around you, friends and family members. What would you recommend for people to do?
I think everybody, first of all, should be very grounded, and then really take stock of their life and take stock of things that they're doing, you know, and do things that they do love, and stick close by their family and help people in need. And I feel that if you use your time positively in helping people in need, by keeping yourself straight, and safe. And of course, really taking a look at what you are doing at home in your family and making sure that's a very positive situation for yourself. And really take time to take stock of your own life and improving things in your own life as well. And start, doing things with your passion, make sure you have a passion and live that passion as well. And then that way you'll be happy. That's what I do. I just basically, I always continuously ground myself, because being who I am, grounding is very important in order to be able to create things correctly. If you're not grounded, you're all in that like celebrity status world and you're like up there like that, in your mind, then you have to really ground yourself so you can create. And then when you create, you deliver that to the world, and that's what should create the wow factor, not you yourself, not you and yourself,
Wow. Can you say that again? That's a nugget right there. I'm all about motivation and motivating other people. Say that again.
Yeah, create, basically stay grounded in yourself and create something good and deliver it to the world. Deliver that to the world and let that impress people, and not yourself. Because you're only one. Like my father said, it's hard to live up to an image. So obviously I have an image, but I have that image as my grounded family image, 100%. That is what my image is. Me and my sister have a roadmap from our father to keep everything very grounded and to keep everything, on an easy level. And so that way you're creating and delivering to the fans. And you can, while being grounded, you can create in a much bigger and better way, because you can make it better than it ever was if you're not grounded, So your family is the most important thing, and always in my heart is the most important thing to me. And of course, creating for fans, which is a lot of fun. And I hope I impress them with the work that I do. And then of course, with your work, and then you get awards and things, hopefully, right? Hopefully. And then that reflects back on you, and then that is your level of fame.
Okay. Wow, that's heavy right there. For all the people that just joined us, Elliot, thank you for joining us, another artist, and a few other people. What we're just talking about is how to stay creative and how to stay positive during times like now.
Yeah.
Another question for you. What is it what's your day look like? I mean, when you wake up in the morning, or if you're anything like I am, I'm 24/7.
Yes.
Usually I've got two phones by me. I've got my laptop. One of my laptops, my other one, the battery went down, so I had to grab my old laptop the other day, so I'm not typing as fast until my battery comes. But what's a day look like for you when you wake up in the morning, or how you wake up? What's a typical day?
When I first wake up, I speak to the person that I love, and I send a song to the person that I love. And then I tell the person I love them very much. And then when I wake up, I get some water or something like that for breakfast, or maybe an egg or something as well. And then I get to work on my dreams, And so a lot of part of my day is really making sure everything is fine-tuned. Because if you have things fine-tuned and organized, then you have a longer and bigger day. And so you have it fine-tuned and you work on your projects. I have a CRM system, which is a custom relationship management system. And so I'm constantly working on my projects and fine-tuning them and doing a lot of thinking. Success comes from a lot of thinking to create it and to look at all the ways to create something, so it can be created on a bigger or better scale than just trying to do it and that's it sort of thing. And so then I get to work, whether it's on my book, which is now finished, or my new book, another book which is going to come out, or a new movie I'm going to try to work on or get, which of course will be in the future. I talk to all my confidants very often. They give me advice in my family and keep me on track. And I also talk to my team in Memphis, Tennessee, that we're working on lots of projects there. And I also talk to, other people and business people on things I'm working for, directors and friends. And I have celebrity friends in Hollywood as well. I talk to them. And of course, we get together on projects and ideas and they invite me. So my day's filled really with love and creativity, and also God. I also pray, to God, and I go to church as well. And of course, in this time, mostly it's online. I was also recently baptized within my family.
Yes, you talked about that. Okay.
Yeah, I basically, because I was adopted when I was younger, by cousins. my mother's side is actually cousins to the Smith family. So I wasn't placed in a family that wasn't my family. I was placed in cousins, which I recently, well, found out a little while ago now. And so basically, I was baptized then as a child, and then of course I lived my life, and I was searching, and I was lost because I was mismatched in that family, and I was searching for my destiny. And so when I found my destiny and found my parents, I immediately wanted to be rebaptized. After I went through all the, coming home to Graceland, you go through a lot of stuff and a lot of, a lot of not agony, but a lot of lessons and a lot of questions and a lot of everything, and a lot of fans misunderstanding and stuff like that in the beginning. So you have to go through that. Now I've gone through that. I got rebaptized into my family, with my father being Elvis Aaron Presley and my mother being Priscilla and Wagner Bule Presley, and I'm baptized in that, so it kind of grounds me now at home at Graceland even more so, because it kind of gets rid of that past, that fighting and that being lost and struggling to find out who I am and where I want to be in life. Now that's kind of all ended, and I'm really settled with that. You see, it's a God and mental thing and family thing,
Wow. Okay. You sound really balanced. Because I start my morning. My morning started really. It's the moment that I wake up a couple times, because I'm up and I'm back and forth, and
Yes.
I usually start out with a meditation before I eat anything. Then I have a quick little bite to eat, and then I'm off running in the mountains just to kind of clear my head and talk with God, and make sure.
Yeah, I do that. Running as well. I love doing that too.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, that's why I try. And let me ask this question, because it's been very, very tough. I have a lot of friends that are entertainers, actresses, and I have friends, where they just as we call ourselves, just the staying grounded people. What's been the hardest thing for you during this time? Like, because I can't get into the gym. Like if I could get into the gym during this pandemic time, I would be like huge. I'd be like the Hawk right now. And I've been able to kind of do some kind of workout to keep myself fit.
Yeah.
What have you done to keep yourself mentally fit, physically? What are you doing in that asset?
Well, I do exercise. I do lots of exercises when it comes to being physically fit, and to being mentally fit. I'm actually very content and happy in my family, and to create and do wonderful things. What actually gets to me is that people dying in this pandemic. That really, I have a big heart and a big soul, and so when people die in the pandemic, that really does make me feel I'm very unhappy. And so I want to give as much love to people as possible in these times. I'd like to do things more so, but I have to do things slowly right now in order to achieve success. And so my family keeps me grounded every single day, and my dreams as well, and being home and being found. When you've been lost a long time and then you come home and you're found, you become very grounded and happy and content within your family and what you have, and you appreciate what you have. You're not trying to always, I'm not trying to search for money. I'm not trying to search for, this ultimate success. I'm happy where I am right now. And as I create, maybe I'll get a Grammy, stuff like that. But I'm not going to get depressed if I don't have a Grammy. I'm just going to try my best to try to work hard to obtain one, and stuff like that when it comes to the stuff you can have, like things like Grammys and hit records and stuff like that. So even though I want them, I work hard towards them. I don't think about, oh, I should have one and stuff like that already. I don't feel how many times I'm just fortunate in anything. I just feel how fortunate I am, and that I'm healthy, and I appreciate that through God and my family. And that's what grounds me. Every day I'm very, very grounded, because I'm very, very happy. And of course I'm in love as well. And so that really helps as well.
That always helps. I think love conquers all, no matter what's going on.
Yes.
I believe that. It's here now. Since you brought that up, let me ask this question: What would you recommend for people? Like, this is the realest time for someone that's dating to meet someone, because everything's been closed down, from the nail salons to the hair salons. What would you say to someone single that's trying to date right now? What would you recommend?
Well, basically, I don't know what other people's minds are like, but you know when you're in love. You know, the person I'm in love with now is I'm in love with that person more than anybody I've ever loved in my life. So they're everything to me, and so I'm really in love. So basically, what we do is we just talk about literally everything, and I think that's the secret, to talk about everything and be honest and open. Don't be closed. You know, just have your heart completely open. Any questions I have, you answer them. You know, and stuff like that, and vice versa. So you can really get to know each other properly, and you have that open heart relationship. So it's easy. You know, when you get up in the morning, you know, and they ask you a question, you give them the answer to that question, because that rules out dating bad people. You know, if you have people that are not quite being really truthful or stuff like that, you can figure things out like that when you do that. So that's what we did, and so I feel we have a very, very strong relationship.
Wow.
Mm.
That's awesome. I always believe in honesty and telling the truth, and I don't think there should be any secrets about anything. I think you should open up, you know, or
Yeah. Too many people are closed, and if you open up, and of course, you know, that person being in your life also makes you very happy every single day, because they, you know, they enhance your life. Being truly in love, I've been in love before, but not like I am now. This is different. So being truly in love, you know, it makes your world so full. There was an artist who was sitting on a beach and he didn't have his wife, and he said, "Look, I'm sitting on this beach in Santa Monica, but I'm lonely because I'm not with my wife." You know, and so that is, you know, if I was to make a hit record, you know, and go to the awards now with the person I love, means 100 times more than if I was going to go on my own.
true.
You see what I mean? So it enhances and makes everything better. But I do believe you need to find the right person, you know, because if you marry the wrong person, it could be a disaster too, couldn't it? You know?
True. Very true. Very
Yeah.
true. You know, I do have this saying, and for those of you out there listening right now, and because I'm talking with a music person, Elaine Elizabeth
Mm.
Presley, right now, I believe it's like this: you find someone that makes you, and if you're into music as much as I am, I think you find someone that makes you feel the same way that music does. That's when you'll know you're in love. You know.
And also another thing that's important: find somebody that's more intelligent than you,
True. I
because
agree.
then you're always learning, aren't you, and growing. If you find somebody that's like, you know, you go, follow me, yeah, this way, turn right. Find somebody that challenges you every day, and my partner challenges me every day.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. I think again, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I never want to be the smartest person in the room.
No, that's
Never.
I'm the easier.
Let me ask this question. I'm gonna throw one out there to you. All right,
Mm.
say you know everything's going wonderful for you, and which it should be because you've worked hard to get to where you are. Um, you decide to open up your own production company, and you're able to put together your own movies. Because I have a lot of friends like that right now that want
Yes.
to put their own movies. What type of movies would you like to make? What kind of movies would you want if you would like to direct? What would it be?
Well, a producer told me, probably about a year ago now, he said to me, if you're going to do movies, Elaine, you need to actually produce some as well, because that makes you very well rounded. So I want to do comedies,
Okay.
and I
Oh,
want to,
wait, wait,
yeah,
wait, wait. No, I recommend you do comedies because people don't realize the sense of humor that you have, and I
yeah,
got it immediately. All right, go ahead.
yeah. But comedies is definitely on my list to do. I'm trying to, after the pandemic, I would like to go for some comedies and get some really nice roles. I'd like to do some TV shows as well. But as far as the movie's concerned, I don't mind doing, you know, history music, history movies, and I think love movies maybe. And mind you, my partner probably wouldn't let me do a love movie, so we'll just scratch. And you know, so maybe some action movies. You know,
Right.
that would be great, but not violent. I don't want to be in anything, you know, anything violent or anything horror or anything like that. I don't like that sort of thing. So action movies, comedies, and family movies as well, and also family TV shows and things like that as well. I'd love to do all that. I think I'd do well in those.
I think you do amazing. You know,
Yeah.
last that we had this interview, the first interview back May 19th, and you realize it's you know every time that we do something, it's on the ninth. It has to do with nines.
That's good. Yeah.
You know nines are my numbers.
That's
So
good. me and my father, includes my sister, is 24. My sister, I think, might be 9 actually, and my mum is 13. Her number,
Right. Okay. All right. Well,
but,
smart
but
person.
24.
Okay. Let me ask this question. And as far as music, and I know you're going to get in the studio and you're going to work with one of my favorite friends that I've also interviewed on this show, Carl Blue Eyes. Are well, he's going to have pretty much full control. Are you guys going to work together on this project? Are you going to have a
My
say-so?
first, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, no. What you tell me? How are you guys going to create this project in the music?
Okay. Well, here's the way it works. I sit here by my little self in my little kind of office, and I have these ideas in my head that I want to create, and so I put together the idea, the concept, everything we're doing for the actual song,
Okay.
and then I take that to Carl and we create that concept, and that's what's delivered to the world. Just like with Scared Little Child, you know, it's a true story about when I was a child.
I love that song.
And then, of course, when we go to the studio, the way it works is that we bring that concept to the studio and we try that concept out. And then in with that, Carl Blue Eyes will say, okay, I think we should do this. And I would look at it and say, yeah, okay, I like that. And then the musicians will say, I think we should do this, ding, 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 ding. And I go, I like that. Let's do that. Let's put that in there. You know, and I might say, let's make that a little slightly higher. Let's change that key. Let's do this sort of thing. And so it's actually a song. When I create a song, like when I created Scared Little Child, that was from a true story. I wanted to tell that story. So my songs are always telling a story, so they're always rich and full, and not just they're not just a song that you just hear and it's thin. It's not thin, rich and full, and it tells a story and delivers an important message. And so, whether it's love or like I've got 2 songs for my sister, and one is actually a letter to my sister, but it's a song.
Okay.
You see, and so she's going to have that record from me, and also another one too. My other one's about I'm a mean woman, and that was about when I first came home to Graceland and everybody's attacking me. So I was trying to tell them I'm a mean woman, so don't mess with me, you know. And another one's a blues song, and another love song, but they're all from my experiences of life, you know.
Right.
And then if Carl brings me some songs or somebody brings me some songs that I like, I will also use those songs and release those songs as well, you know, under a special deal that we make, you know, at Graceland. So I'm open to other people's songs as well, and open to songs that people want to work closely with me on, if they're the right song for me. Just like when my father was here and he chose his songs.
Okay.
But I'm also, like my sister, me and my sister both write songs as well. So the first 4 I really like. One's a really happy song, and it's called Take Me on a Date.
Oh,
And the song the fans can really sing on stage. It's a lovely song, and they're going to love that, sing that on stage. It really is a great song to sing on stage. So, you know, stuff like that. So I can't wait to put those out. I'm really excited.
Let me ask this question. I know that I know it would probably be one of the. Let me put it this way. I know it would be special to you. Do you think later on you and Lisa will do anything together?
I'm really hoping so. We actually have done a song together already. We have Graceland Anthem. We both own that song together. And basically what that song, let me explain that song to you when that's released. Graceland Anthem is actually an anthem, not a song. And the reason that was designed is because we needed an anthem at Graceland for our father because he's no longer here. And nobody had designed it yet. And so I needed to design that song, you know, along with my sister. And the reason I had to do it along with my sister is because it's a family song. Right. And it was also a show start song. So it replaces CC Rider. You know, when they first start off, CC Rider, yep. Oh, what you have done, you know, that song. So it replaces that song with the Graceland Anthem. So it's honoring our father when he was here. It's also honoring history. It's honoring the now, and it's also honoring the future, that our father is still here spiritually. So that song covers that he is still here spiritually for the fans and everybody in the world. So that's an anthem song for Graceland, for our family. And me and my sister do own that 50-50.
Wow.
Yeah. So we are doing that song. So we have that song. And I hope to do more songs for my sister. I think also my job's not necessarily to be, you know, it's not necessarily for me to be on stage and do like a whole set. That's not my thing. Because, you know, my job at Graceland is to bring people to Graceland to tell the story of our father. And I really work for my dad at the end of the day. And of course, I have my own dreams as well. That's why I'm bringing my own records out. But my job is to be on stage, turn up to that one show, that within 20,000 people, and then sing a song and bring them home to Graceland.
Oh,
And,
that'd be awesome.
yeah, yeah, and also do TV interviews, and also do, interviews relating to our family and stuff. Then bring all them home to Graceland too, and work for our family that way. And when I sing on stage, I'll sing probably 2 or 3 songs at the most, maybe 4 maximum. And then of course there'll be other people doing different things there as well. So it's more, I'm not really, I am an artist and a singer and an actor, but what I am more than that is I'm part of the image of Graceland and to bring people home to our legacy.
Wow. Well put.
You like that?
Yeah, guaranteed. Now we were talking last, at the end of the show, we were talking, the first part 1, we were talking about you possibly having a show and entertaining and bringing people on and things of that nature. And I told you my favorite thing is, white M&Ms and white roses. So when I do come on the show.
Yes, yes, you'll be invited. Yeah, the idea that is brilliant, because the idea for that is that, things like at Graceland, we want to bring people to Graceland, but we also, like when I went to the Chuck Berry funeral on behalf of Graceland and our family, on behalf of our father, we want to bring stars that have been here with my father before. So to do a show and have those come on the show and friends of my dad's and things like that, and have a good old laugh and also, do some roasting and stuff like that with each other would be fantastic,
Right.
And
people
so like that, things like that.
Yeah. No, yeah. I like the idea 100%.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you for coming back on the show.
Yes.
I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview you the first time and to tell the raw story of where you come from, so that, lots of people that didn't know much about your story, the way that you put it together. And I want to thank you mostly for the way that it came across, where I asked you, I said, if there's things that you don't want to talk about, I'm a lot different when it comes to interviewing people. I believe in you don't dig and bring things out about someone that they don't want to talk about. I believe in you have a conversation, you chat with them, and if they want to indulge that information to you, that's okay.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for that.
Well, first of all, I thank you very much for having me back on the show, first of all.
Thank you.
I appreciate that very much. It's very lovely of you to do that. But also, there really isn't anything I wouldn't talk about, because there really isn't anything off the table. Somebody once said to me, Elaine, you can tell me your secrets, I'm like, I don't have any secrets. You don't have any secrets when you're a Graceland, okay? You're going to have investigators investigating everything about you. There is no secrets. So I don't have any secrets. I'm open to every and any question. Now, if you say something negative about my mom or my sister, I might say something like, because obviously I've been trained in all this stuff too now. I'm a professional,
You might put on the gloves. I can see you right now.
No, I would just say, okay, I would like to think about that question, and I'll get back to you.
Right.
Stuff like that. So, I protect my family, obviously, So, but as far as I'm concerned, people can ask me any question they want. I don't have anything that's off the table, because I'm a public figure, and
right.
So the world has a right to know things. Of course, I keep my family private now, my family life, but being a public figure, if you want to know something, I will tell you,
Right.
If I can't know the answer.
Hey, you know what I noticed with you also, and the great minds and people that are actually trained in the proper way. And I call those professionals, as you are.
Thank you.
Just know when someone says something to you that's out of context, what you do, or context, what you basically do is you basically answer it in a way. But I noticed that you have a very, very smart way of answering people when they annoy you.
Yeah. But basically, I just answer the question. But if it's something, there are some things that do upset me, because I'm home with my family, and and because everybody's going to ask me this question now. I'm home with my family, so people ask me things like, "Oh, you're home with you're home with your family. How do we know, you're home with your family? I'm like, oh, shut up. I'm home with my family and that's it. Get used to it, okay?
Exactly. Well,
Your,
last.
your family. Why can't I be home with my family? Just because my dad's famous and my mum's famous and my
I
sister's.
know.
What's the difference? That's the only difference, isn't it? So why can't I be home with my family when they're famous, and you can be home with your family, but I'm not allowed to be home with mine and your mine because you're a fan of our father? No,
Right. That's interesting.
get out of here.
Hey, I'll say this for a lot of people, because I've always dealt with this.
Yeah.
Because I have all types of friends, but I've also noticed for my friends that come from very famous, influential families, everyone always thinks that the kids, the brother, the sister, the daughter, whatever, have the easiest life in the world. Just like someone just pours money at you, and it doesn't work that way. People don't understand. It doesn't work that way
No,
at all.
you do have an easy life if you are a good child at home and you're doing what you're supposed to do in a positive manner. You're not interfering or affecting your legacy.
Right.
And you are representing your legacy in the right way, yes. And you listen to your confidants and things like that. Yes, you have an easy time at home with that. And you also have an easy time in the fan base if you are well-rounded and everything at home as well, even though you get attacked as well, obviously, as well, but you have an easier time because you are learning the rules. But yeah, it can be very, very hard and very, very difficult if you don't do that. If you kind of don't, if you're not within your legacy correctly, it can be very difficult. And a lot of children, I'm very fortunate. We have a father that went through a lot of things and left us a roadmap. I've had a lot of things happen to me in my life, so when I came home to Graceland, I was already very strong, when it comes to being a person.
Right.
And when I found my family, came home to Graceland, I was even stronger because I'm with my family. Because I am with my family, that's what makes me strong and makes me very grounded. I don't do drugs, I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke, I follow the rules, I don't break the rules of the land, things like this. And I think that's very important, but there's another side to the coin too. I was actually talking to Victoria Price, Vincent Price's daughter. Now, the strangest thing, I was lost by not being in my family. But she was lost within the fame by being in her family.
Okay.
Do you see? So she wrote a book called The Way of Being Lost, and I wrote a book called Kid of the King. I was lost when I wasn't in my family and totally found when I was within the fame, not being in her family. I mean, sorry, she was lost by being in her family. So it's two opposites, but both people were lost. Isn't that interesting?
That is very interesting.
So it depends how you're raised. I was raised out of my family, and now I'm in my family. So I think it's easier for me than somebody who's been raised like my sister from the beginning, right here in the public. It's harder for her. And that's why I like to always now be strong for my sister as well. She's strong as well, but I like to be strong for her to take some of the burden off of her as well, because I can handle it now because I'm home being strong,
That's awesome.
Not saying that's always going to be that way. It's
Right.
not where you can get weak moments and things when when things happen to you and stuff like that in public. If you don't do a good job on something, if you fail at something, it's very difficult like anybody else. But yeah, fame can be very, very hard and very, very difficult. But what makes it easy for me is I'm grounded within my family. If it wasn't for that, it would be very hard.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, they're starting to time us on the Instagram here.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you again, Elaine Elizabeth Presley, for joining us of Graceland with your wisdom. I want to thank you with all the nuggets that you dropped on how to live in this time that we're dealing with right now.
Mm.
And I wish you the best of luck with your movie career.
Thank you.
Your music career. You're a new author. Well, I won't say a new author, but you have a book coming out. How soon will that book be out?
I'm kind of a new author.
It's always good to be new. I'll tell you. I keep recreating myself. When can we look forward to seeing that book on shelves?
We're working on a publisher now. We had some interest before, but because of the pandemic things, they held a few things off. So we don't know yet, but I will certainly post to everybody, you know, through media as soon as I know, and also send an email to people who are registered on my website for my email updates and things. So if people want to go to ElaineElizabethPresley.com and register, just put their email address in, they will get my newsletter and they will know when everything's happening in my life. And I also would like to, can I give a shout out?
You can give as many, you can do whatever you want. This is your show.
Okay. Thank you, JR, first of all, very much for your loving care today. And I'd like to thank my family for sticking by my side, especially my mother and my sister, you know, and the EP for tolerating me and trying to make it easier for me so I can fit into at home and not you know, be a negative influence in the fan base, but be a positive influence. I'd also like to first thank my love for loving me, and I love you very much. And I also like to thank all my family, including that includes obviously all my cousins. And I thank all of you, and I love you all very much. I thank people like who have supported me in my career as well, and have been very loving. You know, like the people that we have on here today, Crystal Taylor. She's a wonderful, grounded, incredible person who created an incredible album. And I'd like to thank everybody. And basically, I just love being home, and I love. My passion is being home and representing my father and making fans happy and smile. And when I go on stage to make you smile, it makes me the happiest lady in the world. And I can't wait for you to be singing along with me my new song, Take Me on a Date, and other songs too. And I cannot wait for the world to hear the song I wrote for my sister too, because it's very loving and caring, and to bring us all closer. And also for God to all look in your heart, to be grounded, I believe, and to love God as well, which I do. And basically just be happy and follow your dreams and look after people in this pandemic, because it's a terrible thing. And I send love to everybody in this pandemic as well.
Oh, it's so awesome. I just want to say a quick thank you for joining to the Villalobos family. Crystal and Thor and Dr. Billy. Also, Elliot is a new artist that was on the show just the other day. We've got Carl Blue Weiss on. He's with us right now watching. So all you guys that are watching right now, thank you. Keep giving us that support. We appreciate it so much. And again, Elaine, you know, one day we're gonna have some lunch and talk all this over.
Also, thank the fans very much as well, obviously, and Carl Blue Wise for having me and to wanting to produce my music as well. You know, it's very important. And also all my confidants as well, who have tolerated me for being home and in the beginning being a rebel, and then because when I first came home, I was a rebel. And I was at Graceland, you know, going, well, since my baby left me, now we've got to tame her. We've got to tame her. And they did. Believe you me, they.
Well, I know you're like me. You know, we kind of go to a different beat. You know, no one's gonna tell us what to do. So.
Well, no, that's not my way. No, I behave nowadays. That used to be my way. I was the rock and roller when I came home, rebel sort of thing, and they were like, okay, we're gonna have to tame this one a little. So you can be that rebel rock and roller within your legacy rules, okay? Right. No, so I won't say I'm going to be on the outside of those, because I won't. I enjoy being within our legacy rules, because that's where it's safe, actually. It's safe. And that outside rebel thing, that ain't going to work. Not in our family, you know?
Not at all. Okay. Well, we're going to be wrapping it up. Elaine, thank you again for coming on the show. This is Keep 100 Podcast with your host, J.R. Robertson. We're here with Elaine Elizabeth Presley of Graceland. She has a new book coming out. She'll stay posted on that. And again, if they're looking for you or your materials, music, or they're looking to try to get a hold of you for your books and then movies, where would they find you at, Elaine?
Okay, my website is ElaineElizabethPresley.com, or come and see me at Graceland.
Okay, perfect.
Or one of my shows. But you can learn everything about me from my website, ElaineElizabethPresley.com, or the media, you know. And or come and see us at Graceland. You know, I want everybody to visit us at Graceland. We're designing some beautiful, wonderful things. And even if you visited a few years ago, come back again, because we've got more beautiful, wonderful things as well going on, you know.
Let me ask you a question before we take off, because we got about a minute. How are they viewing Graceland right now, are they letting people through where they can actually still
Yeah.
visit? Okay.
Yeah. Graceland is open, so come on down, but you have to wear your mask and things. Be careful. Make sure you keep washing your hands and things like that, and just be very sensible. So that is I'm not too sure if it's going to stay that way, because obviously the pandemic sometimes gets worse and gets a little bit better in different areas. So that could be any time. But the best way to do that, to find out if we're open at Graceland, is just go to graceland.com, and it will appear on the front screen if we're open or not, and how we're dealing with the pandemic, and how you need to behave when you come to Graceland in order to stay safe.
Okay, perfect.
I do believe my mother is going to be at Graceland sometime in the very near future. I haven't actually looked at any schedule for that yet, but I think she's doing something, but I'm not too sure if it's going to be postponed or not. So Graceland.com, definitely, to look at all the things, the updates and events for Graceland that's upcoming. But it should be open to now. I think last time I checked was a couple of weeks ago, because I haven't been in a little while. It was open, and it should still be open today, but just go on that website and find out at graceland.com.
Oh, and also, and if you shoot me a little of that information via text or however you do it, I will also announce those things for you too, so people know what's going on.
Appreciate it.
Whatever I can do to help out. Okay.
Thanks. Yeah. And obviously, we're making sure everybody's safe. That's the most important thing within my career, my sister's career, my mum's career, and my father's career, and everybody at Graceland. Our number one priority is safety for everybody, and so a lot of precautions are being taken for that. But the experience will remain the beautifully same.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know?
All right. Well, thank you again, Elaine, for coming on tonight. I will be putting this together for us so we can actually view it a little bit later.
Yes.
But for anyone that wants to view this, actually, I should reword that. My IT nephew will be putting this together.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I'll be going. I stay in my lane.
You've been awesome and lovely and kind. Thank you so much, JR.
Always. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time, okay?
See you next time. Thank you very much.
Okay. Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.